Good evening, Philippines, and good day, world. It's Thursday, the 30th of November, 2023, and you're watching Newsline World. I'm Kristel Guangco, and we'll bring you the top stories we've gathered from all over the globe. SMNI responds to a House probe held on Thursday regarding its franchise. President Bongbong Marcos cancels his Dubai trip for the COP28 summit to work on the Red Sea cargo hijacking incident involving Filipino seafarers hostage by Houthi rebels. The Israel-Hamas truce deal has been extended for one more day as negotiations continue on the release of more hostages and prisoners. The 41 workers trapped in a tunnel in India have finally been rescued after being trapped for 17 days. And former United States Secretary of State Henry Kissinger passed away at 100 years old. This and more for tonight's edition of Newsline World. First in our news, in order to personally address significant developments in the situation of the 17 Filipino seafarers being held hostage by Houthi rebels, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos canceled his attendance at the COP28 summit in Dubai. Kristel Guangco has the details.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. opted not to proceed with his attendance at the 28th conference of the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or COP28, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. This decision was made to personally address what he described as important developments in the hostage situation involving 17 Filipino seafarers. The president confirmed this in a post on his official social media account. President Marcos also mentioned in his post that he will convene or has convened a meeting to expedite the dispatch of a high-level delegation to Tehran, Iran, to provide necessary assistance to the mariners. He also entrusted Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DNR Secretary Maria Antonia Yolo Loizaga, to lead the COP28 delegation. Meanwhile, in an interview at the Villamor Air Base in Pasay City, Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos, stated that they were all prepared for the trip to Dubai. However, according to BBM statement, the executive chief canceled his trip to Dubai due to this incident.
So yun po, malinaw na dahil po sa nangyaring ito sa ating mga seafarers, no, nakita nyo naman, nakahanda na ho talaga lahat. Maski ako, may sticker na ho ako no? Kompleto na. Pero because of this, the President has to cancel this. No? Sana maunawaan po ito ng lahat.
Abalos did not provide additional details, particularly about the condition of the seafarers held hostage.
Anything that will be involving our seafarers ay napaka-importante para sa ating Pangulo. Pero at this point, sana maunawaan nyo, hindi ko pwedeng i-discuss kung ano nangyayari because of the sensitive issues po rito. No?
On the other hand, the Secretary provided some information about the Philippines' participation in COP28.
Yung pong sa COP, ito po ay sa Dubai, ito'y tutuloy ng ibang mga ministers. Ang head of delegation will be, of course, ang ating Secretary of DNR. No? At iba ay tutuloy. Kamukha po ako'y magbubuk bukas dahil I've got this ministerial level, and of course, si trade mission po, si Ben Jokno.
Prior to this, President Marcos assured the Filipino people that the government is doing everything to ensure the safety of the 17 Filipino seafarers held hostage by Houthi rebels in Yemen. To recall, Houthi rebels seized control of the cargo vessel Galaxy Leader and abducted its 25 crew members, including 17 Filipinos, in retaliation for Israel's offensive in Gaza, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs. It is noted that the Bahamas-flagged British-owned Galaxy Leader, associated with Israeli businessman Abraham Rami Ungar, is managed by a Japanese firm. For God and for my beloved Philippines, this has been Kristel Guangco, SMNI News.
The deadly bird flu outbreak killed hundreds of flamingos in northwestern Argentina. Natalia Prado for the details of this story live. Natalia?
Yes, Ethel, the deadly bird flu outbreak, which arrived in South America in October 2022, has reached the borders of Argentina, where it killed 220 flamingos. The species of birds affected by the outbreak live at the high altitudes in Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, and Peru. The H5N1 strain of bird flu virus can infect an entire flock within days, and is currently spreading across South America. The virus can also spread to humans and other mammals through feces and saliva, although these cases are rare. It is highly contagious and causes severe respiratory disease in birds called avian influenza. Local officials assured they have taken measures to prevent the spread of the virus. Kristel, the news comes after more than 50 sea lions died of bird flu on Argentina's Atlantic coast, while thousands more were found dead in Chile and Peru. Back to you, Kristel.
Thank you, Natalia, for that live update. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has left Japan to attend the COP28 summit in Dubai, UAE. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has departed for the United Arab Emirates, specifically to Dubai, to participate in the conference on climate change. Kishida will participate in a summit-level gathering during the 20th session of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, commonly known as COP28. On Friday, Kishida is set to deliver a speech about Japan's decarbonization strategy. It is worth noting that Japan is among the largest greenhouse gas emitters, aiming to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. Kishida also plans to hold discussions with leaders from Israel, Egypt, Jordan, and Qatar, as well as Italy, on the sidelines of the UN conference. Prime Minister Kishida may also possibly meet with Israeli President Isaac Herzog this coming Friday. In other news, the president of the United Nations Climate Conference in Dubai denied reports of using the international gatherings of world leaders to secure oil and gas deals. Alisa Torres reports.
UAE's climate envoy Sultan Al Jaber slammed reports of using his position to take advantage of the ongoing UN Climate Change Summit to secure oil agreements with other nations. The report, published by independent journalists at the UK Registered Centre for Climate Reporting, claimed of obtaining leaked documents of the briefing notes for Sultan Al Jaber, who will preside over the UN climate negotiations during meetings with foreign officials. The leaked documents allegedly contain talking points for Al Jaber to raise in the meetings, including several suggestions to offer new oil and gas projects with the state-owned Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. Al Jaber not only serves as a Conference of Parties or COP28 president, but also the CEO of oil giant Abu Dhabi National Oil Company and of the state renewables business Masdar. Meanwhile, the Emirati climate envoy slammed the report as incorrect and baseless. More than 70,000 delegates are expected to attend the global summit in Dubai over the next 2 weeks, which aims to discuss measures to tackle climate change. This year's climate meeting kicked off at the Dubai Expo City and will run from the 30th of November to the 12th of December 2023. The UAE aims to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. In a news conference, Al Jaber insisted he never saw the alleged talking points and criticized the move as an attempt to undermine the COP28 presidency. Reporting, this has been Alisa Torres, SMNI News.
For our viewers, we now bring you an update on the Israel-Hamas war, and we want to forewarn you that the following report contains distressing information. Viewer discretion is advised. Both sides are still on a temporary truce after both sides agreed to extend it for another 24 hours. But hours after a deal was reached, reports emerged that people were shot dead in a shooting incident in Jerusalem. Shekinah Dekinya has the news.
Israel has extended a temporary truce in Gaza for the 7th day amid negotiations for the release of more hostages. Hamas, which confirmed the continuation of the truce, recently released 16 hostages in exchange for 30 Palestinian prisoners. The condition of the Israel-Hamas truce remains unchanged. To recall, the deal also includes the release of hostages, cessation of hostilities, entry of humanitarian aid. Meanwhile, reports said that 3 people have been shot dead in Jerusalem after 2 attackers opened fire at a bus stop just hours after the ceasefire was renewed. 6 others have been injured, including 1 individual who is currently in critical condition. The incident also comes after 2 Palestinian boys aged 14 and 8 were reportedly shot and killed during an Israeli army raid in West Bank City, Jenin. In a statement, the minister said that Adam Al-Ghul, 8 years old, and Bassem Abu El-Wafa, 15 years old, were killed by bullets from the occupier, referring to Israeli forces. The CCTV footage of the incident is circulating on the social media. According to reports, the Israeli military was asked about the deaths and said that it was verifying the details. The Israeli military also said that the army personnel did conduct an overnight raid in the Jenin refugee camp, which it said that it killed 2 high-ranking terrorists. The military identified them as Muhammad Zubaydi, a senior Palestinian Islamic Jihad operative in Jenin, and Wissam Hanoun, another local operative. Reporting for Newsline World, Shikay Nadikinya, SMNI News.
The Israeli Defense Forces is investigating the claims of Hamas that members of the hostage Bibas family, including 10-month-old baby Bibas, was killed in Gaza. Elisa Torres reports.
The Israeli Defense Forces said that it had notified the family of a mother and 2 young children held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. According to Al-Qassam Brigades, the military wing of Hamas, 32-year-old Shiri Bibas and her children, 4-year-old Ariel and 10-month-old Kefir, were killed in an Israeli strike during the war in the Gaza Strip. However, it did not say when this incident had allegedly occurred. Benny Gantz on Wednesday night said that he did not know if the claim was true or just a psychological warfare, and that they will continue to seek intelligence and other indications to determine its veracity. The Bibas family was supposed to be a part of the hostage exchange between Israel and Hamas. However, the latter said that they had been transferred by Hamas to a smaller Palestinian group in the southern city of Khan Yunis. Reporting, this has been Elisa Torres, SMNI News.
The 17 Thai nationals released from captivity by Hamas have arrived safely in the capital of Bangkok. Chatmon Kompis Amaygazon has the news.
The first batch of Thai hostages freed by Hamas finally returned home more than a month after they were taken captive by the Palestinian militant group.
Scenes turned emotional as Thai hostages were warmly welcomed by their loved ones as they arrived in Bangkok on Thursday afternoon. The 17 Thai nationals were the first batch of hostages released by Hamas. 2 more were set free on Tuesday and another 4 on Wednesday, bringing the total number of released workers to 23. They were able to finally taste freedom after 7 weeks of captivity and a series of negotiations.
9 Thais remain in captivity, while the Foreign Ministry confirmed there were no conditions of the release of the 23 hostages. รายงานจากราชบุรี นายชันมงคลวิทย์สมัยโกศล SMNI ประเทศไทย สวัสดีครับ
In other news, China chaired a high-level meeting of the United Nations Security Council at the UN headquarters in New York. Anisa de Guzman has the news.
The Chinese Foreign Ministry presented its 5-point proposal at the UN Security Council to solve the Israel-Palestine conflict. Among them was the implementation of the 2-state solution to achieve peace in the Middle East. The 5-point proposal called for a comprehensive ceasefire and the end of fighting, the protection of civilians, humanitarian assistance, the enhancement of diplomatic mediation, and securing political settlement. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee, traveled to New York to chair the high-level UN meeting. Wang said that China will provide another batch of emergency humanitarian supplies to the Gaza Strip. The meeting was attended by foreign ministers and high-level representatives from nearly 20 countries, including Brazil, Palestine, Qatar, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Indonesia, Turkey, Slovenia, and Malaysia. as well as all members of the Security Council. The UN Security Council also passed Resolution 2712, which will pave the way to promote a ceasefire. The high-level meeting comes as China took over the rotating presidency of the UNSC in November. The presidency of the council rotates among its 15 member states every month. Reporting for Newsline World, Anissa de Guzman, SMNI News.
Iran has finalized the deal to buy fighter jets, attack helicopters, and military training aircraft from Russia. Melchizedek Cadiz has the details.
Assalamu alaikum. A senior official from Iran's defense ministry confirmed plans to buy Russian military weapons. The purchase involved Sukhoi Su-35 fighter jets, Mi-28 attack helicopters, and Yak-130 jet trainers. The jet trainers would allow Iranian military pilots to learn how to operate more advanced fighter aircraft. The local media, however, did not state how many of each aircraft are involved. For almost a year now, the United States warned that Iran may be preparing to provide Russia with advanced ballistic missiles for use in Ukraine in exchange for billions of dollars of military equipment from Moscow. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov earlier this week accused the U.S. of making stronger attempts to defeat Russia through its policies and warned that Washington will fail to win the next arms race. Russia also vowed to strengthen military cooperation with Iran amid Washington's attempt to stop Tehran from selling drones to Moscow, adding that both are independent states that do not surrender to the dictates of the United States. Last week, Iran launched its improved hypersonic missile, which it claims can operate at high speeds and evade air defense systems. Additionally, the Islamic Republic recently unveiled a new destroyer capable of launching cruise missiles as part of its Caspian Sea naval fleet. Russia has yet to respond about the finalized deal with Iran. Barakallahu fikum jami'an, kan hada Melchizedek Cadiz sa Akhbar SMNI Kuwait.
Japan suspended flights by its Osprey aircraft after a fatal crash occurred during a training exercise held on Wednesday. Ria Saito has the details.
The cause of the crash and the status of the 7 others aboard the U.S. Air Force Osprey is still unknown after it descended toward the sea on Wednesday. Senior Defense Ministry official Taro Yamato in a parliamentary hearing said that Japan has suspended flights of Ospreys beginning Thursday until details of the crash and safety are confirmed. Governor Denny Tamaki of Okinawa Prefecture said he would ask the U.S. military to suspend all Osprey flights in Japan due to its history of getting involved into accidents. To recall, authorities confirmed that at least one person was found unconscious in the sea and was later declared dead. Patrol boats and aircraft have been deployed to the crash site of Yakushima Island for search and rescue efforts to locate 7 more missing U.S. Air Force personnel. The V-22 Osprey is a hybrid aircraft that takes off and lands like a helicopter but travels much faster like an airplane during flight by rotating its propellers forward. About a dozen troops involved in crashes concerning the Osprey aircraft have died since 2016. Ijon yung Krasektorya News at Stashmashta, SMNI News, Japan.
Tensions between North Korea and the United States have escalated following the launch of a spy satellite by the Hermit Nation. Carla De La Peña reports.
North Korea's powerful figure, Kim Yo-jong, the sister of leader Kim Jong-un, has issued a strong statement accusing the U.S. of hypocrisy and vowing never to negotiate over the country's sovereignty. Kim Yo-jong reportedly inspected satellite images of a U.S. naval base in San Diego and a Kadena Air Base in Japan, taken by the recently launched Maligyong-1 spy satellite. The move comes as a response to U.S. criticism of the satellite launch, with Washington condemning it as a brazen violation of UN sanctions. Meanwhile, North Korea's ambassador to the United Nations, Kim Song, made a rare appearance at the Security Council, dismissing concerns raised by the U.S. and South Korea. He stated that only Washington and Seoul were troubled by Pyongyang deploying satellite and defended North Korea's actions as its legitimate right to develop, test, manufacture, and possess weapons equivalent to those possessed or developed by the United States. The United States has criticized North Korea for the satellite launch, citing it as a threat to regional peace and stability. But Kim Yo-jong argued that it was Washington's double standards and high-handed and arbitrary practices that were detrimental to peace in the region. She also dismissed Washington's calls for a return to diplomacy and warned of more satellite and other weapons launches. Reporting, this has been Carlo de la Peña, SMNI News.
The team of 41 construction workers trapped in the collapse of a tunnel was finally rescued 17 days after the accident. Ambulances and helicopters were seen near Chinyalazur Hospital. The workers were rescued and transferred to the facilities. According to media reports, an Indian Air Force Chinook helicopter was set to transfer the workers to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences Rishikesh for further medical examination. The governor of Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami, reportedly met the workers at the Chinyalazur Medical Facility and confirmed their transfer to AIIMS Rishikesh. The construction workers had been trapped for over 2 weeks after a section of the Sikyara tunnel collapsed following severe landslide in the Indian Himalayas on November 12th. The rescue operations were reportedly delayed after a drilling machine broke down. The trapped workers were able to survive because rescuers were delivering them food using a 6-inch pipeline. The House of Representatives responded to the issue of the alleged 1.8 billion pesos travel expenses of the Office of the Speaker. SMNI also provides clarification on the said issue. MJ Mondihar tells us more.
House Secretary General Reggie Velasco himself clarified that the travel expenses of the Office of the Speaker are not 1.8 billion pesos. According to Velasco, the Speaker Martin Romualdez's office spent only over 4 million from January to October this year.
For the Office of the Speaker, these are the staff members of the Speaker who accompanies him to in all these foreign trips. The total expenses of the Office of the Speaker from January to October this year, 2023, is 4,347,712 pesos and 58 centavos.
Meanwhile, over 35 million was spent on all of the official trips of the congressmen. In total, here are the expenses of the House for foreign trips this 2023.
The total for all, Office of the Speaker and the House Secretariat and the members of Congress who go on official trip, 39,605,123 pesos and 61 centavos.
It can be recalled that the program Laban Kasamang Bayan on SMNI asked if it's true that the travel expenses of the House reached 1.8 billion pesos. SMNI then clarified that it was not an accusation but merely a question asked by one of the hosts, Jeffrey Alexandris, about the validity of the issue.
There was no allegations about the 1.8 billion pesos, Mr. Chair. It was just a question given not in behalf of SMNI, but it is a statement by an anchor of SMNI. And there is a disclaimer in every program of SMNI that any statement made by the anchor, guest, is not the official stand of SMNI. Second, Mr. Chair, there was no deliberate false information.
Due to the clarification in the hearing, Ka-Eric admitted that the data from his source did not match the actual expenses in the House.
We are now very enlightened. Thank you so much, Your Honors, na sinabi po dito na less than 5 million pala yung expenses ni Speaker Martin Romualdez at yung buong House of Representatives ay nasa 35 million lang.
After a 5-hour investigation here at the House of Representatives, the lawmakers who pushed to investigate the SMNI franchise are satisfied with the answers of the resource persons. For Ganababilo Philippines, I'm Jay Mondihar, SMNI News.
Former presidential spokesperson Attorney Harry Roque is urging media practitioners to unite in support of Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, amid threats to revoke its franchise, which he considers an attack on press freedom. Attorney Roque also warns of a possible chilling effect that this would have on free speech. Andrea Santos tells us more.
Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque has called on media practitioners to stand in solidarity with Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, amid threats to revoke its franchise, which he deems as an attack on press freedom. This statement comes amid a congressional investigation initiated by the House of Representatives to examine SMNI's franchise following allegations of disseminating false information about House Speaker Martin Romualdez. During a media forum in Quezon City on Thursday, Roque stated that upon reviewing the video clip, SMNI anchor Jeffrey K. Eric Celis was merely asking Speaker Romualdez if it was true that he had spent 1.8 billion pesos as a travel fund. The issue of the alleged travel fund amount was the focal point of the congressional investigation on Thursday.
Kaya nga po sa ngayon, na binantaan na ang isang media outfit na SMNI, di umano dahil sa fake news na kung titignan nyo naman ang clip, nagtatanong lamang kay Speaker Romualdez kung may katotohanan ba na 1.8 billion na ang kanyang nagastos bilang travel fund. Tinatanong po niya yon kung totoo. Hinihinga niya ng kumpirmasyon si Speaker Romualdez. Ang fake news po, kung sasabihin na gumastos ka ng 1.8 billion.
In Roque's perspective, the potential result of the ongoing probe is not only the actual suppression of free speech, but also what he described as a chilling effect on freedom of expression.
Anong resulta ng investigasyon? Ito po ay magre-resulta sa chilling of the right of freedom of the press na sang-ayon po sa kaso ni Chavez versus Gonzales nung pinagbawal ni dating Secretary Gonzales ang pag-e-ere ng Hello Garci tape, na ito po ay sakop sa pagbabawal by way of prior restraint, hindi lang po yung aktwal na pagsusupil ng malayang pananalita, kundi mga bagay-bagay na po pwedeng magkaroon ng chilling effect on freedom of expression and freedom of the press.
Roque further emphasized that the Congress cannot use the threat of revoking a franchise to suppress a media outfit.
Iba po kasi ang kaso naman ng SMNI sa ABS-CBN. Ang ABS-CBN, paso po yung kanilang prangkisa at walang kahit anong magagawa para pilitin ng Kongreso kung ayaw sila bigyan ng prangkisa. Pero kapag meron ka na pong prangkisa at habang importante ang malayang pamanalita at malayang pamamahayag, hindi po pwedeng gamitin ng Kongreso yung banta na ikansela ang prangkisa para supilin ang isang media outfit. Yan po ay pinagbabawal dahil yan po isang form of prior restraint or subsequent punishment na pinagbabawal po ng malayang pananalita at malayang pamamahayag.
To this, Roque is calling on all members of the media to unite and protect press freedom.
Ang tanong ko, nasan kayo, mga kasama natin sa media, sa panahon po na meron na namang banta laban sa kalayaan ng malayang pamamahayag? So nananawagan po ako ngayon sa lahat ng mga media practitioners, kinakailangan po magkaisa muli. Nung Maguindanao Massacre, nagkaisa po tayo. Noong mga libel cases na sinampa ni dating FG, nagkaisa po tayo.
Meanwhile, former palace official expressed his views on the root cause of the issues, from the alleged issues in SMNI to the House resolution regarding the International Criminal Court's insistence to probe former President Rodrigo Duterte and alleged impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte.
Well, sinasabi ko na po na politika naman lahat ang pinagmumulan ng lahat. At kung titignan nyo ang mga landmark decisions ng Korte Suprema sa Constitutional Law, lahat naman yan nagdulot din, nagmula rin sa politika. From the time of Tanyada versus Angara, to the time of Francisco versus House of Representatives, to the time of Roque versus Arroyo, lahat po yan politika. Okay? At hindi po natin mapagkakait na siguro nagkaroon lang ng personalan sa panig ni Speaker Romualdez at ni VP Sara Duterte, kaya lahat ito po ay nangyayari.
On the other hand, Roque stressed the victory of Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Sara Duterte as president and vice president was the result of unity.
Dahil sa pagkakaisa, meron tayong lakas para harapin ang lahat ng pagsubok. Sana po lahat ng sumuporta sa unity team, kasama na po si Speaker Martin Romualdez, ay hindi maging instrumento ng pagkawatak-watak.
Reporting, this has been Andrea Santos, SMNI News.
The legal counsels of Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, respond to resolutions filed in Congress against the TV network. Jade Calabroso reports.
Medyo ang pakiramdam namin binubusalan kami. Sana huwag naman. Sana mali ako. Pero ang feeling namin, parang nilalagyan kami ng busal dito.
This is the sentiment of SMNI's legal counsel attorney Rolex Suplico regarding the resolutions filed in Congress against the TV network. Attorney Suplico was among those present at the hearing of House Committee on Legislative Franchises on Thursday, November 30, led by 2nd District Parañaque City Congressman Gus Tambunting.
Siyempre, papatawag ka dito, yung mga congressmen yan eh. Mga leaders yan ng ating bansa. Mga powerful persons yan dito sa Republika ng Pilipinas. Tapos papatawag ka dito. In fact, nakita mo yung invitation, kami lang eh. What is so special about Suarasug?
Also present among SMNI's legal counsels at the hearing was attorney Mark Tolentino. He stated that it's a welcome opportunity for them to address the allegations against SMNI.
We feel motivated. Naipakita namin na yung motto ng SMNI, naipakita ang katotohanan. So we feel motivated, we are inspired, lalo na sa mga televiewers namin to prove that truth matters. Yung motto namin na ang katotohanan lang ang ipapalabas sa news and high degree of professionalism. So yun ang nakita namin, hindi yung harassment. Kasi yung harassment na word, maybe may harassment or not. But sa amin, we consider it as an inspiration and challenges na lalong palakihin, lalong pagandahin ang programa ng SMNI.
Furthermore, Attorney Tolentino added that SMNI is not only defending itself but also advocating for the interest of the nation, especially freedom of expression.
Biglaan yun, but of course, right naman nila yan, power nila naman yan, discretion naman nila yan. So we are here, di namin control kung ano yung ginagawa nila. We are here to defend Suarasug Media Corporation and of course, not just Suarasug but the interest of the public, particularly the freedom of press and the freedom of expression of the Republic of the Philippines.
When asked if the hearing in Congress is politically motivated, the SMNI lawyers responded.
Posible, meron o wala. Sa amin, opinion lang namin to, but I think mas maganda sila ang tanungin nyo kung may political motivation ba silang gagawin, may harassment ba sila, I think sila dapat sumagot niyan, hindi kami.
After all, sila ang mga politiko, hindi kami.
3 House resolutions were discussed on Thursday, including H.R. 230 filed by ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro, H.R. 1428 by Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas, and the complaint of Quezon Congressman J.J. Suarez regarding alleged false reports against the House Speaker. The committee is expected to continue deliberations on these resolutions against SMNI next Tuesday. For God and my beloved Philippines, this has been Jade Calabroso, SMNI News.
And before we end, may you be inspired with a message of the appointed Son of God. There's no reason for me to be weak in life's battles. The Father's goodness and love are so endless that He even made a way for the salvation of my soul. For our Christmas countdown, it's only 24 days to go before Christmas. And that's all for today's edition of Newsline World. For more news update, you may visit SMNINewsChannel.com or follow us on our official social media accounts on Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. For God and my beloved country, the Philippines, I'm Kristel Guangco. Thank you for watching Newsline World. And thank you to our beloved Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy, for the opportunity to be part of this program. May you continue to listen on SMNI as it delivers nothing but fair, truthful, and balanced news. For SMNI is your source of credible news.